A place that we've been to on a few occasions, and a place that we're not gonna, you know.
Hey guys, it's KJ,
John,
and Winnie from Disney Mom Life. Welcome or welcome back. If you liked today's video, please
give it a thumbs up,
subscribe if you're new,
ding that notification bell,
and leave us a comment. And John, what are we doing today?
Well, today we have a restaurant review for all you. Not just any restaurant, the Boathouse at Disney Springs. A place that we've been to on a few occasions, and a place that we're not gonna, you know.
Don't give it away yet.
Yeah.
Let's give our review. So the Boathouse is located in Disney Springs. Like John said, we've been there several times. Maybe that's gonna give away how we feel about it, but we are really going to do our best to give you our honest opinion about the Boathouse. So we're going to break this review down for you in several categories. The first being value, the second being service, the third being food, and the fourth and final being atmosphere. And then we will average those and we'll see what we get. So we're going to start off with monetary value. So Walt Disney World gives this restaurant $3 signs out of a possible 4. What that means is that your meal will cost on average $35 to $59.99 per adult. The majority of the items are under $34.99. There were a handful that were over that. It was basically anything lobster and steak. As far as bang for your buck, now, if we're not talking about the food that we specifically got that we thought maybe was great for the price, this is overall. So looking at the menu, looking at the prices, because there are some pricier items, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. As far as the portion sizes and everything, I'd probably lean more towards a 9 in that sense, and the quality of food in terms of bang for your buck. But the thing that's going to bring it down for me is because you could be one of those people that do go and get one of those more expensive items. So that's why we're going to put it at an 8 out of 10.
And since this is a joint valuation here, I will co-sign the 8 out of 10. If I was doing it myself, I'd probably go 9, only because there's so much that goes into what value is to you. I think the monetary value is great, just because the Boathouse seems like such an upscale restaurant. It encompasses everything, that it seems like you're getting great bang for your buck.
The next thing we are going to rank is the food itself. So that's pretty important. And I have to say, we loved the food every time that we've been there. One of my favorite things that I've gotten was the lobster bisque. It was so delicious, and we're from New York. I think we're tough critics. What do you think?
I would agree. Being from a coastal area, you expect good seafood, and you don't necessarily know if you're going to get that in Central Florida. Sorry, but you know.
The lobster bisque soup, and it's really good. It came with some oyster crackers. I just got a cup though because I did get a big salad, so I didn't want to spoil my dinner. But it's pretty good.
What I do expect when it comes to Disney World, because you see it in the World Showcase in Epcot, so Disney Springs would be no different, that they do try to find authentic food to whatever region or place, you know, you're eating. So usually the food is top notch in many of these places. And I thought the seafood was good, the few things that we tried. Obviously we've only been there a handful of times, we haven't tried the whole menu. But what we did try, we liked.
One of my favorite things that I've gotten is actually not on the menu anymore. It was a mixed green salad with salmon, and the salmon was out of this world. Probably some of the best salmon I've ever had, and again, that's coming from a New Yorker. We live not far from the beach, like we're big seafood people, and that piece of salmon was amazing.
So I got the mixed green salad with the salmon, and the salmon is so good. It's so fresh, so delicious, and the salad is excellent. Everything is so fresh and so good, so I would definitely recommend getting it.
Some of the other things we've gotten, you've gotten calamari a few times.
Calamari, clams, shrimp, lobster, all excellent.
I had the lobster roll another time, and that was so good. I just can't stress enough the fact that we have amazing seafood in New York. Going to, like John said, Central Florida, and not that we think Disney would disappoint, it's just really tough to get that really good quality of seafood, you know, if you're not in some place like Maryland or Massachusetts or New York. So getting it in Walt Disney World, it was just, again, really out of this world. And something else we really liked were the crab cakes. I had those as well another time, and those were so good.
Basically no crustacean that we didn't try.
Yeah, so the seafood's really good there. Another thing I want to add, they have these rolls that come out.
Yes, they were
those
excellent.
were so good. So, now we haven't tried everything on the menu, but we have been there a few times, and we've tried something new and different every time, and every time it did not disappoint. I'm tempted to give it a 10 out of 10, but I don't know.
No. Only Via Napoli gets a 10 out of 10 in my heart. So this is a strict 9.
I was thinking the same thing. I was going to say because it's not quite as good as seafood I've had in Maryland or Massachusetts or New York. That's why I'd have to give it a 9. It's so close to a 10, but I think we're going to go with a 9 out of 10.
The next category we're going to rank for you is the service. You know, much like you get throughout the Walt Disney World resort, the service is exquisite, and at the Boathouse it's no different than what you would find at your resort hotels or inside the theme parks. Disney Springs, even though it's not, it's an extension of those theme parks and the hotels, and the service was excellent.
We really want to be tough critics here, just to let you know. So it was great service. The only reason we're going to deduct a point or maybe 2, one of the times we went, we were waiting quite a bit. It was a little bit busier, so we had to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I remember we were waiting for our drinks for a while, and we were waiting for our food for a while, so that might be attributed to the fact that one of the times we were there, it was really, really busy.
Yeah, and I guess we're judging the Boathouse against other Walt Disney World entities, so I agree there. We did wait maybe a little longer one of the trips we went than maybe you would customarily expect. Obviously, inside the parks, it's more of a big deal because you want to kind of, you may have a fast pass. Oh, fast pass, what's that?
Right?
Something you have to get to.
And you did mention Via Napoli, and I feel like in Via Napoli, because that place we've been to more than any other place at Walt Disney World, because we go there every time, and we've gone multiple times on some trips, depending on how long we go. I did think about Via Napoli and how they are so attentive, and it's always packed there, but I feel like there's somebody always at your table, like always, where the Boathouse, it wasn't like they were gone forever, but I think I was just thinking of that. So if you're going to compare it to other Disney restaurants, so as far as service, I would have to give the service, I think, an 8 out of 10. Again, just comparing it to other Walt Disney World restaurants.
I think that's fair.
And the final category that we are going to be talking about is probably the one I'm most excited about, and that is the atmosphere.
Yes, agreed.
That, oh my gosh.
Basically makes the restaurant.
It does. It really does. It makes all the difference. And every time we ate there, we ate outside, and we actually ate, there's a lot of places you can sit outside, but after the first time we went there, we requested to sit in the same area every time, and you can see from our videos here that we sat right on the water. There's a number of reasons why we like sitting over there. One of them is that can only be people seated to the left or right of you. We've sat in the corner before, so there was only people to one side of us, but you are right on the water, and it is so great. You get to see those amphicars that are driving by. It's just nice to like see them go by. You can also see the boats going to and from Saratoga Springs. It's just so beautiful. We loved sitting on the water. That just really made it.
And every time that we've gone there, we've sat outside, and it has really made for such an enjoyable experience, as KJ said. We requested to sit outside. We didn't really have to wait too long to be seated. They do have plenty of seating inside if you prefer to be out of the heat and in the air conditioning, but we wanted to be out by the water because it was just beautiful. And like I said before, it really makes the restaurant. It would be one thing if the food wasn't spectacular. It is, but you could almost be okay with it being less than spectacular because of the atmosphere. It'd be one thing if the service wasn't great because of how great the atmosphere is, and it'd be another thing if like the food was a little more expensive. You'd almost expect the food to be more expensive because you have to pay for the atmosphere that they've created. You feel like you're kind of off by yourself when you're out on the deck too. One thing worth noting though, if you are sitting on the water for dinner, the sun does set on that side of the restaurant, so you may have to, depending on how you're seated and angled, you may have to deal with like a setting sun.
It creates shades though.
Yeah, it creates for a nice view, and obviously the way the sun kind of casts itself across the water, but you also may have to bring sunglasses out there too.
I don't remember that being an issue. You do?
I remember the sun setting on that side. I'm just pointing it out, where, you know, you may have to deal with setting sun. We happened to eat on the earlier side each time we went. We didn't want to be that, so we haven't actually experienced it in full darkness. We wanted to be out there like 5, 6 o'clock time, because we wanted to be out there when it was still light and you can enjoy and see everywhere. See Saratoga Springs.
The atmosphere easily gets a 10 out of 10.
I agree. So now it's time to tally it all up.
So if we average the score for each category, 4 categories, the score is, drumroll, we're not really going to give a drumroll, is 8.75. It seems crazy that 8.75, like that it's not higher. I mean, 8.75 is a great score, but since that's our favorite sit-down place to eat at in Disney Springs, and one of our favorite places to eat at across the entire Walt Disney World Resort, 8.75 I feel like just doesn't sound that high, but you have to remember we're also comparing this to other Disney World restaurants. So we do have a few others, which we will review for you at some point, which may have higher scores. But that's really why we love the Boathouse. If you are going to Disney Springs and you want to have a sit-down dinner, if you like seafood, if you don't like seafood, maybe it's not the best place for you. We haven't tried anything that wasn't seafood.
That's a good point. It's a point worth making. If you don't have a seafood lover in your family, you know, I think there was a burger, probably like chicken clubs, stuff like that.
So if you're not a seafood person, I would check the menu and just make sure that there's something there that you would like. But 100% recommend going if you like seafood. It is so good.
And for kids, they do have non-seafood items. So kids can get things like mac and cheese or chicken tenders or something along those lines. Burgers, perfect, yes. Absolutely.
Yep, so they do have options for that. And if you want to go for the atmosphere, because again, we gave it a 10 out of 10, then go get a burger. Like, I'm sure the burgers are great there.
Thumbs up to Boathouse. Definitely recommend. Would definitely come back here, especially just for the view.
I loved it. Definitely would recommend. And let us know what you think. So if you guys like today's video, please
give it a thumbs up.
Subscribe if you're new.
Ding that notification bell.
And leave us a comment. Have you ever been to the Boathouse? Let us know in the comments down below if you've been there. What did you think? If you haven't, can you go after seeing this review? Let us know in the comments down below. And with that, we'll see you real soon. Bye.
See you on the Boathouse.
How do you know? I can't be talking. You want the remote? You want your phone?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
They do have plenty of seating inside if you'd like to be inside if you do prefer to be in the air conditioning. 'Cause